On this slide, we can see some examples of global commercial suppliers of AI as a service available in late 2021, and for each of these an example service they provide in the area of AI is listed. Note that most of these examples are full machine learning services, such as the search engine from Microsoft Azure and the chatbot from IBM Watson. In contrast, the Java code review service from Amazon is an example of a service that supports only part of the development process. We'll finish off this introduction to AI by looking at how AI is currently addressed by standardization. On this slide, we first consider the large variety of standardization bodies at various levels that generate standards in the areas of IT and software. ISO, IEC, ITU and CEN are examples of international standardization bodies. The first three are global, with IEC and ITU focused on the specific areas of electrical and electronics and information and communication technologies respectively. ISO and CEN are more general, with CEN being a regional European standardization body. Below these are some examples of national standardization bodies, some with more obvious names or acronyms than others. In the top left we can see examples of standardization bodies associated with the specific application area of aerospace. Below them are defence organisations from various countries that create their own standards, but only where absolutely necessary. It's now normal for defence organisations to use non-defence standards wherever possible, due to the prohibitive costs of standards development and ongoing maintenance. On the right of the slide are examples of industry bodies that produce standards in the areas of IT and software. The IEEE is one such example, and they are working on a range of standards on AI and ethics. We will look at standards in AI from two perspectives. Those for safety-related systems, and here, those for non-safety-related systems. There are a few standards that currently apply to the use of AI in systems that are not safety-related. Such standards could apply in areas such as finance and public service utilities, which are both subject to substantial regulation. However, one area where AI is covered is by GDPR, the EU General Data Protection Regulation from 2018. This regulation applies in the EU and to any systems using data belonging to EU citizens and residents, even when those systems are outside the EU. The GDPR does not explicitly mention AI. However, AI-based systems would be covered by this regulation when they include the processing of personal data. The main requirement is that any personal data and predictions made based on this data should be accurate enough for its given purpose. The final standard mentioned on the slide is the ISO IEC 29119 Part 11 Technical Report on the testing of AI-based systems. This technical report provides guidance for software testers of AI-based systems. It was published in November 2020. As can be seen from the definition at the top of this slide, safety is not only about potential harm to people, but also to property and the environment. As such, AI-based systems are already beginning to be used for making decisions that affect safety. For example, self-driving cars and other transportation systems are already incorporating AI components in their decision-making. The trend for using AI for safety-related systems is only likely to increase. Hence, the topic of safety-related AI is important and is an area that should be regulated. Standards in isolation are voluntary documents and can only be made mandatory by legislation by government or by contract between agreeing parties. An example of a series of standards already mandated by some national governments is the ISO 26262 series that covers automotive hardware and software. However, these standards do not currently provide any specific coverage of AI, and this is a gap that needs filling. Luckily, new standards and revisions of existing standards are now beginning to take account of the growing use of AI in computer systems. This has been the session in which I completed the basic introduction to artificial intelligence. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you next time.